This task is asking you to basically make an assignment in Moodle, which will serve as a Dropbox where you can collect files or some sort of text from the students and be able to grade it later on. Okay, so your assignment is to make an assignment that has the directions built into it so the students don't need to ask you constantly what they need to do. Everything's already there for them to see it. Alright, so what I'm first going to do is I'm just going into my first section where I have my introduction, and right now I have no activities or resources, so I'm just going to click Add Activity or Resource. Okay, I'll notice that the assignment's the first one that's listed there. Okay, so I'm just going to click to add this assignment. Then it's going to take me to my page where I can customize how I want this to look. Okay, so for my assignment name, I'm just going to say this is a sample assignment. Okay, this description is where you're going to want to put your directions. Okay, so if you have anything important that you need the students to do, you'd want to put it in here. So you might type in directions and list them out. Okay, you might end up inserting some sort of image that you want them to respond to. So just remember, you go up to this button that's to insert or add an image. Okay, you could open this up. You can basically customize it however you want, but basically you just would want to have all your instructions there. You could put a link to something else. Okay, you could even highlight the text or whatever you had and make it that they could just click on it by clicking the hyperlink button, and I could just type in that when they go to that. Okay, so I have that there. I can also choose, since I have it linking automatically, I could just type in Mastery Connect, and then it's automatically going to take me there if I click on that as a student. So basically you have the power to add pretty much any sort of content or digital media that you would want to into this section. You just want to make sure that you have all your instructions there. You can choose to have this display on the course page. If your directions are extensive, you probably do not want to store it on that home page because it would take up a decent portion of your screen. If you have any other files or anything you'd want to have included in that section, you can go ahead and do that. You can allow submissions from a certain date. You can have a cutoff date if you choose. Okay, so you basically have the power to customize any of those settings. You can allow either a file submission or online text, or you could even check off both and allow both if you'd want to. If you allow file submissions, you can choose how many files you would want them to be able to submit. Most of the time you would probably just want one. And then I recommend that you stay with the maximum submission size and just stay with the site upload limit, which right now is 20 megabytes. If you had a online text, you can basically cut off how many words they can use as well. So if that's something you want them to really synthesize and think before they write a long paper, you could have them have a word limit for it as well. As far as feedback types go, you can give them comments, you can give back a file that would give some sort of feedback. These are typically the two that you'll see when you do this example with a SLO that you do and your principal responds to you. Okay. Most of the time you won't need to do any of these for the submission settings. If you had groups set up, you could also set up different settings for each group. And most of the time, as far as you're concerned, because you're not running an entirely online course, you won't have to get into the other settings there. So once you have everything that you need, you're basically just going to go down to just save and return to course. And now when I return to my course, if I go into section 1, I have my assignment that I created. I can click on this. As the teacher, I'm able to see the directions that I put in there. Okay, so anything that you would have put in there would be good. Anybody that submitted something would show up here. I can click if I want to view or grade the submissions. Okay, basically anybody who submitted something is going to show up in basically like a table format where I can view what they submitted. And then I also have the submission status. If I were a student, I could see exactly when I submitted it or if I didn't submit something yet and go from there. Okay, so basically this is how you would get to this assignment. If I want to return back to the course page, okay, I can either choose on this navigation bar to the left, I can choose Moodle Creation Sandbox, or I can just go up here to the Moodle Creation Sandbox, which is the name of this course up on this top bar up here. And that takes me back to my course.